Well, we have kind of an interesting AR-15 variant to show you tonight. Some of you might recognize it, others maybe not. This is a Colt Lmg M16 A2. This is the squad automatic light machine gun version of the AR-15, which Colt developed, really beginning way back in the 60s, progressing through the 70s and into the 80s. But they didn't actually go into serial production until much later. This is essentially the RPK of the AR world. I don't know how else to put it. It is definitely a beast. But this is a support weapon. It has the same 20-inch barrel as most of your AR-15 rifles. However, it has an inch diameter, so it's much thicker, much heavier. Same A2 style flash hider as you see. Has a bipod, which is inspired by the M60. As you can see, it hooks here. It is adjustable, which is nice. Pretty heavy duty. Makes it quite tall. And of course the gas block is much thicker. The gas tube is a heavier duty. You can see inside there, but it's a thicker, heavier gas tube. You have this foregrip that I'm holding right here, which is probably one of the, it's not a grip pod or anything, it's just a hollow, very sturdy foregrip. And it's connected to this carry handle here that folds to either side and kind of locks in on detents. Interestingly, these aren't part of the handguard. They actually go through the handguard and it's pinned on a block that's pinned onto the barrel, so it's kind of attached like a gas block would be. So it's very secure. The upper receiver is essentially, let's move over here a bit so I can plop this down. It gets a little heavy over time. The upper receiver is essentially A2 style, except if you notice it doesn't have a forward assist. It does have the brass deflector, but no forward assist. So this is the Colt Lmg, M16 A2 LMG. As I said, they were developing these in the 70s as a support weapon, and basically the project got shelved up until the late 80s when Diemaco up in Canada took over the project and decided to finalize it and began manufacturing it themselves. So this upper, along with most, if not all, are made up in Canada, although the design work was done in the USA. These haven't been used by terribly too many militaries. Some in Canada. I believe it was Denmark also purchased some, and I'm sure small quantities were picked up by others. But essentially it was a project that didn't go much of anywhere. It's a shame too, it's a very interesting rifle. Again, it's heavy. The full auto version, this is of course a semi-only, actually fires from an open bolt. This one here is on a standard Colt lower from the early 90s, so it's going to be a closed bolt. But the military gun would fire from an open bolt. Also, the military gun used a hydraulic buffer. I do have a hydraulic buffer coming in, but right now it just has a standard rifle buffer in the back, which it'll work with fine. But the hydraulic buffer is kind of interesting as it has fluid and a piston, and it was originally designed to slow the rate of fire, and Colt had developed it back in the 70s for just that purpose. And yeah, not a whole lot to say. I mean, it's an AR-15. Most of you know what it is. As you can see in the video, it is very reliable. Again, it's a Colt upper, or a Canadian Diemaco Colt upper, on a semi-auto only Colt HBAR type lower, so it's perfectly legal as a semi-only. And I've always kind of been intrigued by retro ARs and unique Colt rifles, and this is certainly one of them. Certainly one you don't see much. Not a whole lot to report about it, aside from it's an AR with a heavy barrel and square handguards and a carry handle and all this. But yeah, just a light support version of the AR-15, and I thought we'd just give you a little preview of it here. This is Michiko, and thanks for tuning in.